Man, I need to lock it in one of these days. Now that's more like it! Yeah, I have this weird relationship with the Souls games. I absolutely adore every single one. The way the worlds are built, the characters, the backstories, how some bosses make you question many things, the music, the way this part of the boss's soundtrack hits at 524. Yes, I'm using iTunes for Windows in current year. It's peak way to enjoy music. And yet, I don't like playing the games. Well, I do, but I suck really bad at them. It's like how horror games. I've played nearly all the mainline RE ones except 7 because it seems too scary. So scary that I've actually watched 7 different people stream through the entire game. Yep, that's how it's for me with the Souls series. I've watched so many people stream the games because I suck at them, and from what I learned is that there is something unique to FromSoft and how they make their games, the way they set up the storytelling in a non-conventional format, the types of characters you meet, something about their games leave people coming back for more, and not just because they're all masochists. And so it turns out, what the heck? These guys are cracked at making games! Yep, they were pumping it out quicker than you on a Friday night watching ASMR. They were making so many original IP unique games! And once they found out that one idea that worked, well, I mean, gotta chase that money. But I did always want to beat a FromSoft game that wasn't Souls, and I heard a lot of good things about Lost Kingdoms. Yeah, this ain't it. Then I found out about Enchanted Arms.
Don't try and worm your way out of it. I'll put you on a leash if I have to.
Oh yeah, this is it. This will surely be the game for me. A turn-based tactical JRPG with many worlds to travel, monster-catching mechanics, an angry female main character, a lovable goofball main character, a hyperactive tiny character. Hey, wait a minute. This is just Final Fantasy. Even its trailers are like, what the heck, this sounds amazing! The basic gist of Enchanted Arms is you follow this guy Atsuma and his friends on a journey to understand why his arm gives him stomach cramps, to save the world from devils who want to laugh seductively at you. You know, I don't think that's a bad thing.
I was just kidding! Come on!
And you travel the world learning about your powers, fighting off evil in gameplay that is tactical, turn-based.
The fight system is sort of like Final Fantasy meets Dodgeball.
Oh, yeah, that. Where you use moves on a grid board and your attacks have to hit the other side while the enemy does the same. You got elemental bonuses, buffs and debuffs, and then special moves, which you charge up this EX meter to do a big flashy attack. Like this lady summoning feet? But all of this is more easier for the average gamer, in a good way. Like the game has a speed up button that you could hold down to speed through combat. It even has an auto battle feature because as an Xbox 360 game exclusive, you know, a crowd that would scream at seeing the sight of chess, they knew who they were trying to win over. I mean, my god, it has multiplayer! A JRPG having multiplayer. Oh god, it's FF15 again!
In one voice.
And you will want to use this auto battle feature as you get hit with random encounters. Oh, you have these big maps, but then BAM! Like a Tuesday night in Birmingham, you get attacked. But just use auto battle, it's not that big a deal, as the game has nothing on that difficulty like the Souls games, because if you die, you just get to retry straight away, which is insane for a 2006 game. You can also save anywhere, and you have this cool mechanic where you'll heal back up to full health after every battle. Yeah, just use all the craziest moves, it doesn't matter. This uses up VP, and if you run from battle it drains more and more, so you refill it at these bonfires. It will become very apparent why I'm calling it that. But yeah, it's a very unique battle system. Well, sure, I don't care, man, I could use my supernova attack on the robot maid. I'm gonna be fine right after. But she will never make you that normal rice again. So it's like the more you battle without the bonfire, the VP bar goes down till 0, and then you don't get any more free heals. But then, who cares? You got 1 billion party members! Yep, no friends in real life, just recruit them in the game. From giant knights to scantily... What the heck was FromSoft on? This feature is like Pokemon, recruiting enemies to join you, and you can swap them out in your team very easily. They will also level up with you. Yes, your bench gets experience too. You see why I say this is a dumbed down JRPG? They're making it so easy! But it's not. It's not easy. Haha, I tricked you. Now die. But then, yeah, it's a standard JRPG where you got towns, you talk to NPCs in said towns, and then you run between the towns, taking you to such scenery as forest, towns, snow. London, what the blimey hell? Oh wow, they got it down pretty accurately. But yeah, it's the presentation and story. If you weren't wearing your glasses, you could think that Square Enix just made a HD version of Final Fantasy X. But it has that FromSoft charm, where there is more to the game the longer you play. Or I don't know man, the item pickup sound is the one they use for Dark Souls. How did a game like this even come about? What, do you want me to tell you? You ungrateful goddamn piece. So FromSoftware were not known for JRPGs. I still don't think they are. I'm talking more turn-based ones. Nearly all of their games are action-based, not having random encounters, then chess gameplay. But FromSoft, one of the devs during the original Xbox's launch in Japan, asked by Microsoft, please make some weeb games that the Japanese players will buy for the green machine. No one is buying this thing. And they did with Metal Wolf and Otogi. A lot of those were produced by one Masanori Takeuchi, who is one of the scenario writers on this game, with it being aimed as a launch title for the Xbox 360 in Japan, the White Box's first ever JRPG, titled, drumroll please. Goddamn editors can't even do what I ask. Oh wait, I'm the editor! The title's name in Japan, square bracket small e capital M close bracket dash small e capital enchant small AR capital M. I'm serious. Look at the box art. It's like they wanted this game not to succeed on purpose. And as with all games from the mid-2000s from Japan, it's very hard to find information on it. But they were buddy-buddy with Microsoft, given alpha kits on the 360, and in 2005 they were given the beta kit, so in July they said the game was 40% complete. They were aiming to complete the game in 5 months for December launch in Japan. They released it the next January. I still find it insane how quickly games are made back in the day. Here I am with a channel 1 year old and it hasn't even got 10,000 subs in that 1 year, and I have videos with over 50,000 views! Hey, don't laugh, this is serious. People should subscribe right now! People do seem to state that the 1 month delay was the reason why the Xbox 360 had an abysmal launch in Japan. There was no traditional turn-based JRPGs at launch. And then Ubisoft in May announced they would be localizing it, doing all the dub and translations. It came out in August that same year in the West. It took them a few months to localize the entire 30-hour game. And how did it turn out?
I'm starving. Another hamburger. No, 2 more.
God, Ubisoft is really the best company ever, right? But yes, you can imagine a game going from announcement to being all out over the world in 1 year was an insane feat. Microsoft did help out with the dev kits and such, but this was just a crazy efficient way to release a game, which I still see with FromSoft now. Very rarely do they delay games. They announce it, it comes out, and if you look at the staff on this game, a few people still work at the company. But I still wish, as you will see, that this game got more time in the Dorito Mountain Dew oven. There's just some things I wish it could have had a bit more work on. It also is incredibly amusing that Ubisoft decided to call this Enchanted Arms. And there's only one enchanted arm in the entire game. And even more amusing is that after 1 year, the sales were only 20,000. So then in September of 2006, FromSoft announced it would be ported to the PS3. The shiny JRPG machine with worse graphics and cut content. And data breaches. Baby. Yeah, obviously a smart move to move the game onto a console where people actually play these types of games on, where they would now add 30 extra Pokemon, say it had better graphics, but NeoGAF sorely disagreed, 10 minutes more of cutscenes, and a toned down difficulty. However, there was some cut stuff because the Pokemon they added was only because the Xbox version had exclusive summons from the devs' other game. Yes, you could summon a character from Metal Wolf Chaos, which is weird they lost the licensing when they ported it to the PS3. It's their own franchise. Come on, man, you own it! But I think Microsoft was just like, So to make up for that loss, they added 30 new ones and cut the games online, which was just you battling other people's teams with your Pokemon. I think they wanted that online because that was the Xbox's whole thing, and since it came to the PS3 before 2009, this game doesn't even have trophy support. The Xbox version was also notoriously more difficult, as on so many forums, you can find people ranting on about how they had to grind and grind for the final boss. I felt so ripped off paying $20, so I sold it to Warrior64 for $10. In 2007, That Twitter news guy? In 2007? And after my experience, oh boy, did they tone it down a lot. As yep, I'm playing the PS3 version, but, okay. With these videos, every once in a while, I like to take a look at new kinds of technology in the forms of emulation. I love trying out new consoles emulators. I did for Chrono Trigger. I went down a PC98 rabbit hole for this game, and so I wanted to try out PS3 emulation, because this was the biggest graphical leap for me after growing up with the PS2, GameCube, and Wii. I'll always remember how HD this thing looked in my mind when I got it. I have a PS3, it's there, it's sitting right there. Why is it vertical? But when you go back to play them, it sure is yellow. But on PC, it could look like how I remembered it in my mind. And yes, emulating this thing was a nightmare until now. Yep, this game is entirely playable, although you can't do speed up or save states, just it's got fast loading and clean visuals, so that's how I went in to try FromSoft's first and only turn-based JRPG localized by Ubisoft as an Xbox 360 launch title after 20 years. Seeing other JRPGs like Final Fantasy, what will this game bring to the table? And will it show off that unique FromSoftness? Softness? What the heck am I writing? So the game begins by flashbanging you with FromSoft and then Ubisoft's logo, which is very amusing seeing how differently the public view both studios now. And right in the setup, holding the D-pad, it lets you go a few ticks left and right, but then it goes flying off the rails. So the story shows a barren wasteland, our main character dreaming about this injured girl, then woken up in a lecture.
Atsuma?
Huh? What? Where? What's going on?
I didn't add that sound effect. Why is this game doing that already? This is Atsuma, the Labrador main character who is lovably stupid.
You bet.
Single brain cell alert.
As Professor Ko, bro, did you stitch your evil shoulder's mouth shut? Oh, he's totally a good teacher. As he teaches us the combat, where, like I explained, it's turn-based on a grid. You gotta move around to dodge attacks, or line up your ones using EP for any attack. Atsuma is a physical fire guy, where fire does super damage to water, but it also takes more damage from it. You got wind and earth linked, and light and dark, and you either have physical, attacks, or range. The game also has this presentation, which can seem low budget. Okay, it is low budget. They made this game in 1 year for a dead console in a country that no one wanted! Where they had 3D models in engine, see the hair flying over there, and they go through these poses with the mouth flaps over a still image of the background. It's very visual novel coded, but it is nice most of the story is voiced, yet you'll come across some bits that aren't, and every NPC isn't, which is sad, honestly. Oh no, it's too romantic, I'm gonna die! All alone! So the main party is Atsuma, Toya, the know-it-all, amazing, wow, perfect student everyone is in love with, especially Makoto here. As we gotta pick our lunch, which is one of the few small non-story changing choices you do, and I'm like, this seems suspicious. It must be good if they're hiding the name.
That lunch is hyped as being the perfect nutritional balance for enchanters. But actually, it's just a glorified veggie stir-fry.
Oh, sweetie, being fooled by such blatant marketing.
So there's a school festival here in Yokohama, as the game is set in Japan, but it gets confusing later. I guess it's like near future sci-fi-esque, you know, mixing fantasy with sci-fi, just like some other game I really like. I also love how if you mash X, the dialogue doesn't get cut off, you hear it fade out like a real conversation, people cutting off each other.
There it is. I've been waiting for that face. He's planning.
This only comes once a year.
So we run around school to find out that everyone hates our guts because we just kind of bum around. We even got an anti-Atsuma task force, but we find our dog Kota.
He didn't even like you when he was a puppy, did he?
Maybe it's that. Or maybe it's that unique look you've got going, Mikado.
Mikado? But isn't it? Oh man, I'm gonna have fun talking about the voice acting. But later, as this is a sealed door, you're not meant to go in, as we have to fight the anti-Atsuma committee to sneak out to the Yokohama festival, where Toya is water type and Makoto is the healer. Well, we escape to the festival where you got... Oh god, that's creepy. Why is this a mini game? As yep, this was also one of the big PlayStation new features, 6-axis motion control. What do you mean you don't remember a big selling point about the PS3 at launch was the motion controls on the controller, but then everyone hated it so they dropped it? Wait a minute. My controller? There's something so amusing to me as someone who would live through the console wars, playing an Xbox JRPG on the PS3 emulated on PC with an Xbox controller. In between my toes is a Wii nunchuck. But yes, I do not have the motion for this. Thankfully, you can press X to do it instead. And it's like, man, I wish the NPCs were voiced here because you got these orange juice waitresses and it's so funny the more you talk to them. Some of them just really hate their job. I guess that's one thing that sets Final Fantasy apart is that there's more care in the localization. Yeah, with how quick Ubisoft pumped this out and with how most of the voice actors aren't even credited on this game, it's unlike that similar game. Every NPC you talk to is voiced with multiple lines of dialogue because it helps that world immersion so much more. I should mention you also do get Japanese voices if you want, but why would you want that?
Duty!
So you also get more of the vibe of the party. Atsuma is literally an excitable puppy, and Toya just seems to know everything, even outperforming other people at their jobs. While Makoto is smitten with him and playfully hates us, since Toya was our friend since childhood and he always would go, come on Makoto, let's follow the kid to the festival, let him be happy. But now there's a golem fight where you need a golem to enter. These are like monsters full of magic that you control to fight. The military here use them to keep the peace. So you gotta find tickets to then pick a starter, just like in Pokemon. I picked the funny cat. And you enter the tournament where your party, you can mix and match with humans and Pokemon monsters in the party, like that other game I love. A lot of similar vibes already, even with the location being on the waterfront setting with fun times. I guess this really is FromSoft's take on Final Fantasy. Look, you can't tell me this guy was not inspired by Tidus. When we meet someone.
Who's there?
The Queen of Golem Hunters, Yuki!
Never heard of you.
Insolence!
So, Cowboy Yuffie wants to be a golem hunter for the money and needs to defeat us. However, what feels like an earthquake, so we gotta stop the fight, much to her annoyance, as it seems like the mech golems are turning on the humans, and so we have to save people where now the world has random encounters, as it then suddenly starts snowing, and people who can't use magic like us are falling ill. Oh, don't worry, he isn't dead, Atuzma. Did Ubisoft use AI for this script, but it's like 2007 AI? Atsuma has the hero protect everyone idea, so they rush back to the university to save other people. As now you can also defeat certain monsters who stand in the overworld, and then you'll recruit them by synthesizing their core. You'll need power, mind, and speed gems, which you get after every battle, and this is all done in the shop Crystal at certain points where you can also buy items and more things I'll mention later on. Also, I found out that you can change the turn order just by moving the cursor beforehand on the battlefield. Like, you don't always have to have Atsuma going first. Maybe you want to heal before that. Also, I have to mention Atsuma has like a freaky right arm, in that because of it, he can actually punch golems himself. He doesn't need a weapon, and it will cause them to lose their ether. There is just something special about his right arm. So we find Kota is still in the school and chase after him, which leads into the now open sealed door.
Whoa. Another earthquake?
Not again!
Atsuma, I have a bad feeling about this.
A bad feeling? Like, maybe this floor is about to collapse?
Yeah, that feeling.
Come on, just because you said it doesn't mean it's gonna happen. It is! No way!
I knew it.
So you go through pressing X to ride on these platforms, which can randomly fail, so you're gonna mash X even more before you got another exclusive PS3 feature.
Let's go!
I have to shake it to dance. Oh man, I'm missing out! Yep, so you have this EX bar which will fill as you fight. This lets you do crazy, flashy moves. But if you want to boost that outside of battle, which is honestly a legit feature you want to use because before a boss, maybe this isn't full and you want to top it up. So you dance and that will attract monsters the longer you do it. But unlike the pizza minigame, you have to use the motion controller. You can't press any button to dance. Like, come on, make it a rhythm minigame or something. So unless you have a 6-axis motion controller, and something the emulator can't do right now, I wasn't able to use this feature, which was a slight worry because, oh no, what if the game, I can't progress because there's a motion control thing I need to do? Thankfully though, there isn't anything like that. But for now, Atsuma is as white as possible. He cannot dance.
Oh no.
But then you have another feature with the grappling wires. To jump over ledges, you can also shape the controller too. But thankfully you can press X here, as you gotta complete the puzzle, which is just finding these ether boxes to then use that on the door to continue.
Wow, this is amazing.
It's also amusing at how much this game babies you, because Atsuma is a little slow. So they'll tell you a tutorial where you just have to press X and he can be like, I don't get it. Tell me again, how do I press X? Come on, man, they're even telling Atsuma how to use a ladder. You see what I mean when I say this is a good first time JRPG? I also finally was so confused on these healing points because I'm like, wait, I'm healing automatically after every battle. Why do I need these? But yes, on the right, after battles, you will see VP going down the longer you fight. But say if you defeat enemies on turn 1, you don't lose any VP, so you want fights to end as quickly as possible, which is an incentive to not use the auto battle because the CPU is kind of wasteful with their move choices. But yeah, if you get stuck into a 5-turn battle, or you die, or you run away, you lose a lot more VP, meaning you won't heal, meaning when it's 0, you won't heal back up after the fight. So then you gotta swap out party members or use items to heal up like a normal JRPG, which makes the healing stations act like bonfires. You feel so safe when you reach one of these, like, oh phew, I get free healing now. You also get to learn these skills with SP and you can equip them into these 6 slots that you'll have to pick and choose which moves you want on the characters at certain times. Now we have our first boss, where it is tough if you don't use their weaknesses, where he's a fire type, so he'll take more damage from water attacks, but he'll also do more damage on Toya, so you gotta avoid that. The funny thing is, every time you start a battle, your characters are randomized on the board, so it's actually like you can just retry a couple of times to get your character's placements better at the start. So say you're closer to the enemy, so you're not wasting turns moving around, then you can win. Bro, why is my emulator EP?
Everything's frozen. How could that be?
Ice. Ancients. A seal. Golems.
Atsuma's arm now talks to him, telling him to go deeper. And there they find a frozen lady, and Atsuma's hand goes, whoa, I want to touch! And causing her to be revived. So she's the Ice Queen, a devil golem, and 1,000 years ago, the devil golems fought in the Golem War, which caused all this devastation. But she was sealed away, and she can't operate without a magic core, which Toya knows all this because he's so smart as he fights her. But she cannot die, she just keeps regenerating, so she goes to kill us as Toya jumps in the way.
How stupid you humans are. I'll never understand how you can place the survival of others before the preservation of your own existence. It's so pathetic.
Toya! Come back to us, Toya! Toya! You're alive!
And so she takes Toya as a puppet.
Get your cold, icicle fingers off Toya right now!
You're quick. That right arm, at least, is dangerous. I may not be at full strength yet, but still, to impair my ability to regenerate so badly, and with such a lack of control. Things are getting interesting.
You can't stop me now! Nothing in this world can stop me. Not until you are dead.
However, we still can't beat her.
You get that ugly face away from him!
My face? Ugly?
That's right, sister! I'm just telling it like it is, honey.
You think my face is ugly?
Mikado, run!
And Makoto dies, while the Ice Queen takes Toya before the whole place turns snowy, freezing every single person. As we see that dream again where Atsuma uses the arm to blow away things and finds a girl injured. And then we find ourselves detained in a jail in...
How can you say that after sending 4 of my buddies to the hospital?
I did what? I never sent anyone to the hospital.
Cut the act. Don't expect any sympathy just because you're a survivor from Yokohama City.
What happened to Yokohama City? Where am I?
You really don't remember anything? You're in London City.
London? Like we traveled halfway around the world to England? Well, okay. Though the guard won't let us leave, as they gotta throw in some other girl.
Get your hands off!
You're about to get hurt, girl.
Ugh!
You dogs! Treating a lady this way. You'll pay for this!
Oh, what a vixen you are.
Scumbag!
Oh, she's fun.
Look, you.
Oh yeah? You want a piece of me too?
No, actually.
There's something I have to ask you.
Hey, wait, you just knocked me out! So she seems familiar to our dream, and she...
Just one thing. Would you mind standing back a little? Being near you is making me nauseous.
What? What? Do I smell bad or something?
So she orders us to get out of here.
Okay, here goes. Oh, the pain. The pain. I'm gonna die. So painful, I'm gonna die. Ouch.
Keep it down. What's going on in there?
Oh, owie, it hurts.
He suddenly collapsed, complaining that his stomach is hurting.
My stomach is about to explode. Oh, the pain.
Okay, we'll get you to the medical unit. Just hang in there.
I'll try, but the pain. It's gonna kill me.
Okay, well done. The instant he opens the door, I'll take him out with a quick kick.
What was that noise?
Well, you see, my stomach hurts. I mean, really like bad pain. Searing pain, you see?
Why, you? What are you thinking, letting your stomach rumble like that? You're supposed to be sick!
Oh, come on, give me a break. I haven't eaten since yesterday.
So we don't remember anything, and Kareen here notices something is up with our arm. And then the wall breaks!
What's going on out there?
You're safe, I take it. I have come.
This is Ryga, Kareen's personal bodyguard, and honestly, the best character in the game.
But I came to get...
Okay, so like, this is Ryga talking, but why is Atsuma's mouth flap moving? This isn't an Ubisoft thing. Why did FromSoftware do this?
Rygar, thank you for saving me. Silent type.
So we gotta escape the cells as we find...
Pizza time.
And yep, this is our party. The bit before was like a prologue fake out. Kareen and Ryga are the proper party. Toya is kidnapped and Makoto dead. So now Kareen is the healer with her legs, and Ryga is a tank. I mean, his design could have told you that. Fun fact, the character designer for this made the ones in Xenoblade Chronicles X. So you have to make your way through, and you'll usually know where to go because characters will state it, it'll appear in blue, the quest is there on the pause screen, and pressing select opens a map for you to follow. And yes, of course, they'll explain how you can press X to swim. There's also more tactics to the placement on the field, as if you place characters behind others, they will take less damage, but also the enemies can do that too, which is why you usually need some wide attacks or long ones to get enemies that are standing far away from you. Also, only now I started to actually use the EX abilities, where Phoenix is a firebomb attack that hits many targets, and another PS3 feature is that if you shake the controller, you can get up to 20% boost on the EX attack. So I guess I was just missing out on that extra damage the entire time as we escape, and you have to wonder if they reuse our assets for Dark Souls. Because come on, dude! Now I was singing this game's praises for how easy it was making the JRPG formula. You know, battles are smooth. However, like you get weapons to equip, which you then have to synthesize. And in the story, the money is called tablets. And you also need gems for this that also cost money. And then after doing all that in the shop, you have to quit out and still manually go into every character to equip the new weapon. Even the game, when it removes your party for story reasons and when they return, you have to remember to always re-equip the party to the front line every single time. And so I got a knight as our golem for a 4-man team, and man, it's taking so long to find a healing station. I actually wasn't running from any fight since you'll lose 10 BP, and you can just auto battle, so I was getting good experience from every enemy, but man, it does slowly wear you down. I will say it's not the worst random encounter rate I've experienced, which is like that other game. Look, if you haven't seen my video on it, it's my favorite game ever, okay? So suddenly seeing this game do so many Final Fantasy 13-2 things before that game even existed was surprising to say the least. So we finally make it out.
To me, certainly not comrades. More like you've got like this uptight wife, devoted husband thing going on.
What?
You're the kind of wife who's demanding but never shows her true feelings. And Rygar is this silent, forgiving husband who does everything for his shrew of a wife.
Perceptive.
Rygar!
My apologies.
The shrew has spoken.
Shut it!
As these two are part of the resistance in London, fighting against King Caliban, who is an evil tyrant. Wait, so why is London like medieval peasantry while Yokohama in Japan is all sci-fi future tech? What did FromSoft mean by this? They believe the king is going to revive the Fire Devil Golem, as each city has their own, and they don't want London to burn to ash like how Yokohama was frozen. But the king doesn't have the fire magic core that you need to revive it, so the resistance want to nab it and hide it away, which is amusing. Reviewing this footage, she says all that, but when you go to the resistance, they have the magic core hidden away already. Like, did they do this without her knowledge? Maybe that seems likely. And she wants our right arm to help fight against the Ice Queen, who is probably gonna get here. And Karine will tell us everything about the arm that she knows if we agree to help her. Help fix up London for an angry lady. Sounds like my kind of party. But Utsuma goes, nah, I need to see Yokohama for myself with my own eyes to see how frozen it is. Are there like queens singing Let It Go on the roofs? She's like, okay, fine, we'll go there and then you'll help us once you see it, okay? But you can also explore London and see how brown it is. But it does have a casino, which was disappointing in that it's only in the menu. It's not a fully explorable casino place that you can walk around in. I mean, it does make getting to the gambling quicker, which is a good thing. I mean, it's a problem. It's bad. It's bad. Well, maybe not in this game. I'll explain later the gambling addiction Utsuma has that caused him to go into rehab. But you got the usual casino games, and you can exchange coins for prizes, which are weapons, golems, and skills. Well, anyway, time to head to Yokohama Road? Yeah, I don't think that's how it works. What do you mean they're on the same continent? So, like, this is never explained. This lore has a futuristic Earth with real name cities. Later they'll mention Mount Fuji and goddamn Shakespeare. But London City is a city in Japan. Because you have Kyoto as well, London is in between Yokohama and Kyoto. I don't know, man, did the Brits just invade, pop the king here and lose all their money? I'm not joking, this is never explained why. And it is meant to be London that we know, because Karine's voice actor is American and is doing some slight posh British accent. It's just so random, like it could have made up any city, but nah, London it is. Looking like Jack the Ripper's home ground. What did FromSoftware mean by this? So the direct path isn't accessible and we gotta head through the forest and oh, look who it is! The world's best golem hunter!
Until then, being cute isn't going to save you.
Just what was that creature?
A dubious little creature.
So you find this god thing who you can fight. You probably shouldn't. Well, I mean, you can, but have fun with that damage. It's endgame stuff you'll come back here to fight later on. Now I fused more golems as the main reason you're picking up those gems after each fight is to synchronize them. But what is annoying is you can't actually read what their skills do. The game makes it seem like, oh, you gotta catch them all, which means spending money on gems to summon more of them, but money's too tight for gems. So I wish you could at least see which moves did what before you picked which one to synchronize as we head on through.
Damn
boxes.
where you can press X to punch them, and very rarely they will give you 1 gem. It's like, this is so stingy. Come on, man. There's got to be something else in the box. So we keep going through to Yokohama, where the enemies are more tougher, taking way more hits, and I do die a few times, but you can just retry. It shuffles around your starting spot, and you can do much better next time. Also, if your agility is lower than the enemy, they will actually get their first turn. You won't know if this happens beforehand or not at all. It's just, okay, hit me first. As we reach a crossroads, and we can't go right due to the London guard, so we head the other way and find this head guard Oka blowing up the bridge so no one can reach Yokohama, which angers Atsuma. So we have to find another way across. As we eventually reach the frozen city, with some blonde guys stalking us. Then we get attacked by this boss golem, and after winning,
I've had my eye on that golem for as long as I can remember.
Whatever you say.
Shut.
Golem hunters should fight fair and square in all matters.
Shut up.
What?
I'm telling you to shut the hell up. Look what's happened to Yokohama. And you're still going on about hunting? It's just so lame, even if you are joking. Take your childish games elsewhere, okay?
Childish games? Moron.
Stupid!
and yep, oh boy, the enemies are taking longer to fight, and it finally happened. I ran out of VP! I wasn't healing back up. So I just chucked Lord Onyx onto the bench and used someone else. It's not that big a deal unless your bench sucks, and you'll be fine mostly until the bosses. And even then, there usually will be a healing station outside the major bosses. Now you also get support skills which you equip, and they are buffs, like they'll always stay on when equipped. So in this game you can block getting poisoned or eliminating gravity. No, wait! Gravity effect stops you moving on the field, but literally putting these skills on the characters, you won't ever get affected by it. Which is funny because you will get more support skills later in the game, so you gotta pick and choose which ones can go into which slots. But early game, you barely got anything. So there's literally no reason to not put these on and just negate every single status effect on you for the entire game. You cannot do these for the golems, by the way. So your golems will always be the one poison in the battle now. Which is also a weird thing in that you don't want to use the golems then, you would just rather use the human party members. Also, you have this blue bar too, which is a combo meter, where if full and 2 people attack the same enemy, you will just do more damage. So you do some more puzzles which involve going here, opening a lift, going back around, things that feel more annoying with random encounters, and finally, after a literal hour of gameplay, I find a healing spot. And this legit felt as powerful to me as in Dark Souls fighting a bonfire. Finally, I get my VP back! Well, we head into Yokohama, and Atsuma is sad that his hand caused all this, blaming himself. I then see FromSoft was on some weird, goofy Gen Alpha words, because this was an Xbox exclusive, yet I guess for Japan, there are so many waifu-coded golems. Like, horny outfits, robot maid girls. They also only speak Japanese, all the golems. I guess saving on dub cost, having to voice 50 golems and all their attack callouts. I don't know, man, it's amusing to imagine some dude bro in 06 eating Doritos and seeing this maid with a machine gun. And maybe I made him watch anime now and he loves it. Oh, it's the good ending. So we enter the school, utterly destroyed, but we see Kota the dog is alive and we follow after him.
Why isn't it frozen in here, too?
I don't know, I never spent that much time in the library. I don't like books much. But I bet Professor Ko would know.
Professor Ko?
He was our tutor. Toya's and mine. But he was also head of the library and the research facilities.
Ko? I've heard that name somewhere before.
It can't be the same man. How would anyone in London City know Professor Ko?
So Atsuma's arm acts as a handy alarm to when a devil golem is nearby. He will get shooting pain, so the Ice Queen is probably here. As we find a creepy lab. No, he's not creepy, he's cute. But this lab is creepy with arms similar to ours, all in test tubes. As it was Ko doing all the testing, he calls us a weapon that we aren't human. He calls the golem right earlier to force us to awaken our arm. Kareen then remembers Ko at that demonstration.
Remember now what you did to her?
I did something to Kareen? I did? Whoa!
And I love this campiness so much.
But there may be a boogeyman or boogeymen in the house.
Whoa!
as our memory shows us with the arm overpowering us and using it to fight golems with Kareen there watching. However, the power was so much that we hurt her.
I'm sorry.
Let me punch you. When this is all over, let me punch you, okay? Then I'll call us even.
We'll be even? After one punch?
I must admit, I'm happy to see how human you've become. Very happy.
And as if to make us even more mad, Ko transforms our dog into a golem beast, making us fight it. And the fight was pretty easy, but you don't get to save afterwards, as you now gotta fight Ko.
This guy is 100% evil, isn't he?
No way! What gave it away? We chase after him with Kareen and Ryger stuck behind.
Shut up!
As we see now, Toya, a puppet, or he talks like some Disney villain.
You should just accept it, Atsuma.
Toya, snap out of
This
it!
really just feels like Kingdom Hearts right now with Sora and Riku. Come on, Atsuma. Surely it's the Ice Queen controlling Toya, making him say all those mean things, calling you not a human. Has the Queen made Toya her magic core? Yep, it can either be a physical object or a human can turn into one. Meanwhile, these two are trapped until that stalker guy.
Who's there? I said, just move aside.
I wonder if I didn't know my voice actors,
Don't just stand there. Quickly, go.
I would still be wondering if this was an obvious plot twist and thinking who the heck this is.
Oh, and what happened to helping others,
So the gang join up with us and we fight Ko and new summons, where it's the first big FU skill check in the game. Yeah, it was all smooth sailing. You in the countryside with your angry British lady and her quiet bodyguard just auto-battling to your heart's content. But then BAM! This guy insta-kills you! I also learned that if you buff up your attack, say with a move, but then you use a defensive buff afterwards, it will actually override the attack buff and remove it, unlike in other JRPGs, you know, these things usually stack on top of each other. And for 30 goddamn minutes, I was stuck on this fight. He kept summoning these things that buff his defense, while he hides all the way in the back line, and then after 3 of these summons, he will use them to do his EX move, which deals 300 damage. No, I only have 240 health! So I grinded and grinded. I didn't mind redoing the Kyoto fight, not because I'm evil, but it was easy, and I couldn't save in between, so I gotta make sure I was ready. And then I realized parameter. Who put that there? I opened it and it's buffs to my stats. I could have used SP I gathered every battle to buff my health. It was a core feature in the game I somehow forgot to use. I literally did this face in real life. I was playing on hard mode again. Why does this keep happening to me? So yeah, I was getting SP every battle. Remember, I kept fighting every enemy I saw. You use SP to learn those skills, but also you use it here to buff up your health, increase your EP to do more skills, your damage and speed. I never once did this in 7 hours of gameplay. So I buffed everyone up. Oh my god, he's easy now. Me when I find out I'm an idiot. However, the Ice Queen kills Ko, not needing him anymore, as she wants
me.
Yes.
For our arm. However, she says we aren't strong enough, which is weird because why does she want us to become stronger? So she leaves with Toya, and Ko was like, I don't know how your arm came to be, I was just told by the military to study you, and all I know is that your arm was made from the cells of a devil golem.
Those memories.
You sealed away my memories?
And so Ko dies.
What's going on?
This man's death has apparently triggered the destruction of this facility.
How about that?
We must
run away! Atsuma though is all mopey since his BFF told him he doesn't want to be saved, so what's even the point?
Atsuma? Well, a promise is a promise. Time for you to help us with our operation. Don't try and worm your way out of it. I'll put you on a leash if I have to.
Bro, was FromSoft always this kinky? So we get a flashback to where Ko tells Toya how he has the blood of the ancients, making him a good candidate to be a Magicore. But that also means you could use that power to become a god. So there's this constant battle now in Atsuma's mind, where we and he don't know if Toya actually wanted to be a Magicore, or is just saying all those things because he's being mind controlled by the Ice Queen. So like we agreed, we go to help the resistance now, which involved us walking through the castle to the place with Kareen's permission, which is kind of obvious. Yeah, she's the Princess of London, which doesn't make sense why she was thrown into a cell with a violent criminal like us. As we see Oka and this Baron.
Off you go, you pompous old goose.
With all due respect, sir, should you...
Why not? I am using him, plain and simple.
How about that? So we go through to the Resistance, and on your journey you'll find these treasure chests, and most of the time they'll have money in them which you really need, so it's always a good idea to explore every pathway. It's fairly easy to see everything in the map, if it's more how tolerant you are, running around with all the random encounters. We also learn why London is a hellhole, and not because of that Ferris wheel. I'm joking, I haven't been there, I'm sure it's lovely. But they all use their resources to have fun in the now, so in the future they had nothing. Unlike Yokohama, which was always building for the long term, which is just trying to explain why one is stuck in the medieval times and one is sci-fi. And looky here!
We hit the jackpot!
Every single box has gems! I knew punching everything I saw was the right idea! So into the mines we go, where you press X to get into the cart and you have to swap the tracks. It's fairly simple, as we find Yuki again, who is like, I'm your biggest rival! And zoom is off. So we climb into the Resistance camp. Man, how does FromSoft come up with these cool designed areas? You know, I actually found the art book of this game and it's just oozing with creativity, much like the other JRPG series. Well, we head in, destroying all their food and drink for the winter, causing them to slowly die out in London's freezing cold come February. Hey, look, man. Atsuma's gambling is to punch these boxes. It's that crazy dopamine hit. Will this box have a gem? Will it be the one to give me an item that sounds like a Dark Souls pickup sound effect? So we meet the Arsenal leader. So he's a gooner. And I feel like I'm the only guy in the world who plays weeb games and watches the Premier League. Why does my team suck so bad? So Kareen introduces us.
The somber enchanter, depressed Atsuma. He's a little depressed at the moment, but don't let that bother you.
Okay.
Tell me this guy isn't from Dark Souls. And we get to wander around. Now, I'll mention this again later, but this and one other track were kinda disappointing. A little bit annoying. Oh, the battle theme and stuff are hype, but it's like, I really wish this game had better sounding soundtrack. Like, I checked the composer, not to rag on anyone's composing details. I'm learning to compose, I'm still new at it, we all suck at it. But it's just interesting how they don't really do many games since then. And like this track, it's fairly good guitar riff, but then you have this cowboy-ass sound drowning in one ear, over and over. And it's so annoying when you're trying to listen to the dialogue. I'll mention it again later, but I wasn't too into this game's soundtrack. Usually if a game's sound is average to me, I'll just ignore it. I won't talk about it. But I'm talking about it because I was actually getting irritated by this song. So you wander around the Resistance. It has a bar, sleeping beds, item for Yuki. Oh, okay, I guess she joins the team then, nice spoiler. And turns out they seem to have caught a tiny female spy. Oh no, what did that gremlin do now?
You need proof, do you? Easy enough. Have you ever seen a spy that's a midget?
Oh, Atsuma, you can't say that! It's so weird hearing this guy with a Sora Kingdom Hearts 1 sounding Titus voice say that.
How about a little something to make up for this disgrace, huh? I'll sue you.
Like they have lawyers in medieval London? So Yuki runs off free as Kareen has to go into a meeting, and I talk to this random NPC, and she's like, oh, sign here and here to join the Resistance, and I'm joined with this no dialogue NPC? Yeah, sure, okay. Like, even up top I talked to this NPC who asked Kareen why she is fighting, and she says she can't stand idle seeing her people suffer. This is important lore stuff, which most people will ignore as, like me, when a game is partially voiced. I usually zone out things that aren't voiced because I'm just looking forward to anytime I hear the voice acting. If a game never has voice acting, I'm perfectly fine with it. So why all these important things are with the non-voiced NPCs? As Karina's like, bro, this Gooner isn't a good leader, they have no plan what to do after they stop the king. Because, like I mentioned, they already have the magic core here. It's guarded, it's protected. There's no reason for them to do anything yet. They can just sit here twiddling their thumbs, but this Gooner wants to go and fight the army.
How can you be so relaxed? What happened to all that doom and gloom you were wallowing in a moment ago?
Even at times like this, I can't help feeling hungry, can I?
You look pale. You haven't been eating much recently, have you?
Maybe not. I don't really remember.
Okay, that settles it. I'm going to cook you up something special.
Oh, no.
Oh no? What does that mean, Rygar?
Well, Atsuma,
Yeah?
I shall pray for your safety.
I'm done. My special stew. I call it Kareen's Brilliant Stew. There you go. Eat up.
This is a stew?
What? You don't want it?
No. I'll eat it.
Pretty good, right? It is my specialty after all.
Oh. This tastes like...
Hey! Don't run off with Atsuma like that!
What? I'm not running off with anyone, thank you very much. He wanted to eat something. He gave me no choice, so I cooked for him.
Ugh. Is this your cooking?
What? What does that mean? Ugh.
You expect humans to eat this?
Atsuma, it tastes great, right?
Oh.
Atsuma! Hang in there. I'll get a doctor.
Medic! Medic!
He really annoyed me, but Mikado's cooking was fantastic. Yeah. What happened to me? Of course, I'm dead.
I feel even if you didn't have the funny voice acting, this game would still be amusing with the writing. Rygar is like, haha, I told you. Atsuma goes, man, her cooking was dog ass. Don't you dare insult my lady Kareen. Oh, okay, take it easy, buddy. So we head up and find Yuki looking at the stars, where we finally have our fight and I unlocked a new EX move.
Fire! Reduce them to ash!
It's very good.
Can I ask you something? If countless people have been hurt by a stupid thing you've done, what would you do?
I just wouldn't think about it.
You wouldn't? Think about it? But that's not possible.
Don't get me wrong, okay? You can't forget things like that, sure. But you can't go back to the past either. You can't control everything that happens in this world.
I know, but...
I don't know what you're so preoccupied with. But humans are equipped to solve every problem they face. If you've got time to mope around, use it to think about the future. Make plans.
Man, what the heck? That's like one of the most profound personal things I have found in a JRPG. I rarely connect with games on a personal level, but I don't know, man, that really hit me. So Yuki forces her way onto the team.
To tell you the truth, being stronger than me is one of the prerequisites for the man I intend to fall for.
No! Look, I know it's a JRPG character trope, and thankfully it doesn't get too weird from that. And even more thankfully, because the goat Atsuma is so stupid, he just dodges those things with his one brain cell. However, the Green Knights from London start attacking as we have to fend them off and tell the resistance. And during the fighting, Oka comes in, and now with Yuki as a wind character with super long-range gun attacks, we easily win, and Oka is like, oh, whoa, sorry, I didn't conveniently see the princess was here, sorry. As we learn that...
between those two?
Oka is Rygar's brother.
What?
And we let that slip out, so then Rygar gets blamed by the giggling guy that Rygar is the mole who told the guards about this hideout, so they arrest him.
Must be that giggling man, right?
He certainly is suspicious.
We need to expose him and prove Rygar's innocence.
Let's gather intelligence.
Yeah, that's gonna be a bit hard for us. But the game does these things in the non-combat areas where you just gotta talk to every NPC to find more info on that giggling guy. And you'll learn that he and Guna were meeting a baron in London. So they were the mole. Kareen is so mad, even calling us nothing but a weapon, and she goes by herself to spy on the leaders, who are actually just stealing the magic ore to give it to the baron. So she follows them while we sleep.
I'm starving. Another hamburger. No, 2 more.
Wake up, you idiot!
Kareen, I need more food. More.
Why you...
What are you trying to do, kill me? You gun-toting freak?
You're awake. At last.
So we find out Kareen is gone in the morning, and Guna says that she stole the magic ore. Rygar, hearing his master is gone.
Rygar, how did you get out of the cell? Don't tell me.
I smashed through the wall.
Oh, Rygar. So the mystery man actually visited him in the cell to give Rygar a letter he found from Guna, who has been working with the Baron. The same Baron we saw Oka meeting. In short, the Baron wants the Magic Ore and in turn will give riches to Guna and Oka. And that they spread the lie that the king wanted to revive the golem when he did not want to do that. And all these serious accusations are playing. All that goddamn
right
cowboy
here,
music
the
is still
Baron
over
wants
the
to
top.
control the
Why?
castle with-
So Oka is taunting Kareen. Even though it's his brother, he hates Ryga and wants him to die as painfully as possible as we head to save her. But even though she called us just a weapon, Atsuma doesn't want Kareen to have to experience her city being destroyed like his one was. Oh, he's so precious.
A good boy. It's the giggling man.
I have a name, you know. You'll pay for mocking me. Listen up. My name is...
I know. Giggling man.
You insolent fool. That's not it. My name is...
Shut up. You're the giggling man.
So we just leave the guy alone. Will he come back later to hurt us in the story? So we find Kareen, beat up Oka, and he's mad Ryga won't kill him, even though in Kyoto he killed non-combatants, so he just runs away.
Getting angry with Kareen doesn't make things any easier.
Atsuma, it sounds like you want a taste of my kick to hell.
Kick to hell? Wait!
Keep this up and I'll make it a kick to heaven and hell combo.
As now you learn more skills which are stronger variants of the same attack. Think how in Final Fantasy the elements have stronger versions. I did though think, the EP cost for these is double, yet the damage is only slightly more. So I didn't use them till the endgame where you'll have more EP, so those moves become trivial using them. Like here, Kareen learns an improved cure, but it uses so much EP, you might as well just use the smaller one so she can have more attacks, as the only way to recover EP normally without items is to stand by in battles, which means you're not getting rid of the enemies in that turn, which we learned is a big no-no. So touching the Magic Ore. What did FromSoft mean by this? We go inside our arm and see the Emperor of Fire, where the arm is like his master, and he keeps saying how everything will be fine if we absorb all the devil golems. And turns out because we touched the Magic Ore, it cracks it!
It's only a small crack. Just glue it up or something. You can still use it.
You haven't cracked a bowl, okay? You cracked a Magic Ore!
Then the Ice Queen and Toya come.
I'm gonna save you. I'm gonna save you. Can't you just get it through your thick head?
Yeah, surely he's still brainwashed, right?
If you want to stop me, you'll have to kill me.
And after that taunting session, turns out Kareen also has the magic genes.
In my blood?
Ice Queen says, come on, go revive the fire guy because you have no way of fighting me, and leaves.
Well, I didn't understand half of that.
She hasn't punched me yet either.
Punched?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't understand half of that.
Well, we return to London to see the civilians getting weak like in Yokohama, and then the Baron killed by Oka, who betrayed him, and he fights us. Ryga wins though, and the whole ordeal is that Oka always felt inferior to Ryga. And during the War of London and Kyoto, Oka attacked civilians, but Ryga spared him, so Ryga left the knights in shame, while Oka became ridiculed. And yet still, Ryga doesn't want to kill him, so Oka attacks Kareen, finally forcing his hand.
This is farewell, brother.
And Kareen is like,
Rygar, come on.
Kareen?
She's caring in her own angry way.
Quiet!
Wait, no, don't kick me again! Speaking of legs, no, not like that. I do like how the weapon upgrades actually show up on the character. Like Ryga got this big ass glowing sword, and Kareen her legs become the weapon changing what shin pad she wears. And they would be good on a rainy night in Stoke. As we head to the castle, and remember, the king never wanted to revive the fire golem, which means Kareen ran out on her dad. All in anger, mishearing all this. As we enter the castle and see the king captured, but then brutally killed. Hey, go easy on the guy. And Kareen, never having gotten to say sorry to her father for running away believing all the lies, watches him die.
Queen of Ice, I'm going to kill you!
So you have to head to the Inferno Temple to fight her. And I know FromSoft does this extra lore, but yeah, they also have it here. In some places, the books, you'll get some extra cool lore on the world. But it's also like, not every bookshelf has things to read. I always thought that was weird in a game. If you don't make every bookshelf readable, then no one will check them all. But if you check one and, oh, okay, this one's readable, then you check the others, oh wait, I can't. Why would you keep checking them all then? Like maybe just make it a little glowing thing, which ones are readable if you want that extra lore. But we get stopped by the Ice Queens. And yet,
allow me to aid you.
yes, you finally joined us! Oh, he just runs off. Why is this column a PNG? So here I want to touch upon the voice acting. It's mostly not good, objectively speaking, but you're on my channel where we have shown what the worst voice acting in a video game ever is. Nothing will seem bad compared to that game, so I don't get why people brush that off as a reason. Yes, Atsuma sounds like he's never voice acted, and that's probably because he never has. More a small real-time actor, same with a few of them, but then you have big, well-known professional voice actors still doing big roles now. Like Kareen is well-known in the Persona games, and Makoto and very amusingly the Mystery Man are both voiced by Liam O'Brien. One of my favorite voice actors ever, so it's like, yeah, I can tell what the twist is gonna be purely from the voice. But you have professional voice actors doing a really good job. Even Raiga has such a good work as a stoic bodyguard, but he's not even credited, and no one knows who this voice actor is? Can someone tell me, please? His voice is so unique, I want to know!
Somebody tell me! It's not fair! I have to know! I have to know!
But I think it's more how the voice director gave everyone their lines without context, because so many times you hear a line read, you know how in Japan in anime dubs they will read the lines in one room watching the anime, so they know the visuals and how to voice act it. I think it's harder for games to have, you know, what, a 30-hour JRPG on screen, but I think a competent director with money and time gives the context of the lines. But here, so many times what they say doesn't match what's happening on screen, which is amusing because I guess people who are more successful now in the industry, they were still okay with no voice direction because they are good at voice acting. They still do amazing jobs with it. While Atsuma...
He isn't dead, Atsuma.
Don't worry.
That's the wrong tone of voice. And yet, I think it suits his character perfectly. This isn't like Chaos Wars where you randomly have a guy sound like he's from the New York mob. Atsuma is a lovable goofball who doesn't know anything. That childlike wonder reminding you of early Sora or Titus's voice, where the weight of the world hasn't soaked into their voice yet. While we head into the temple, Kareen gets a flashback from her father saying how humans can be magicors, and the physical object ones are just replicas. Human magicors could eventually control the golem, but over time, the thinning of the blood has made it hard to do so. I will say I was also using the parameter a lot. Yes, I'll never forget about this feature ever again. So I was keeping in level with the enemies, yet now it was harder to defeat them in one turn. It was always two, so I would slowly but surely lose VP. Kareen then calls Toya a reversion, which is... what is it? It's never explained again? I think it means he's a more powerful Magicore. The game does this a few times. It mentions something and then just forgets about it. As we find the Ice Queen. But Kareen...
Atsuma, sorry. I'm not going to be able to punch you after all.
Wait, no, punch! As she runs with the Magicore to revive the golem to suck her up, and it does so, but it goes insane and fights the Ice Queen with this honestly amazing CGI cutscene. This is just Godzilla vs King Kong if one of them had a fire sword and the other wore high heels. And they're really showing off the particle effects of their CPU rendering here. But he still is weak and crashes down.
Who's there?
Do you really want to know what happened to our senorita?
You!
It's the handsome guy.
Yeah, it's like, who is this mysterious guy that's flirting with all the ladies now? Who is the mysterious man? And he tells us that in the fight, the Emperor's magic core was shattered, so he will absorb Kareen, the human one, and become whole, meaning if we don't fight him now, she will never be freed. So with Kareen out of my party, in you go, random healing mermaid. And I fight, which isn't that difficult. Seriously, most fights are way easier than that one, because now I know I can go further beyond my limits. So we gotta suck up the Emperor Fire in our arm.
Whoa, to you too, Emperor Fire.
God damn, I love him so much. So we suck it up in our pup's Kareen.
You really are high maintenance.
Now the Ice Queen is happy at this, as we once again are inside the arm.
Shut up.
I seriously love how not caring he is that this crazy magic arm is trying to control him. Like that one brain cell doesn't have time to think about any of this. The arm though mentions how Toya does not wish to be saved as we wake up and see all the damage. And Atsuma blames himself for all of this yet again. So Yuki, to cheer him up out of his funk, says, okay, let's help rebuild London City. And you just go around finding items to give to people to fix it up. Essentially, you're just talking to every NPC. It's pretty easy. And so at this point, I decided to look up stuff about the game to see what the general consensus was. And two things stuck out to me. One, oh my god, this game is so hard. and 2 were the big things people were talking about. Keep in mind this was for the Xbox version, and with how much easier the combat is in the PS3 port, I was fine on the first part, but the second, I still needed money. And the best surefire way was the casino trick, where you save outside, enter, go into the roulette, bet it all on red versus black or even versus odd. If you win, quit out and save and do it again. Eventually you'll get enough coins to make bets on individual numbers so you can get higher odds, and according to this post, on these specific numbers, because you will be guaranteed a win. They practice what they preach. Bro, it's a video game casino, relax a bit. And I did what they said, and... But keep reloading if you lose, and eventually you'll get enough coins to buy these recovery items, which you can then leave and walk over here to the shop to sell for a profit. It's fairly easy grinding method, and I feel that's why the casino, you don't have a walking around area in the building, because I should also mention the game has a lot of buildings you can enter. It's still a PNG background with the models, but at least they try to show the world's more lived in, and they do have some things to talk about of the world. It's one annoyance I do have with like Pokemon games now. All that budget and you still enter a town and you enter a building and there's nothing of value here. The dialogue here adds nothing to the lore, so I can appreciate not making the casino a grand big place just to make the farming easier. However, you can only buy 9 revives at a time, which is like, what? I guess to not have too many revival items in gameplay, but man, it takes so long to buy 9 here, walk over here, move on the menu to sell 9. There's no max limit button or anything. I will also mention Atsuma runs at normal speed. Like, it's not slow, but it's not fast. And with how big the worlds feel, well, they aren't big, but it's more due to them not showing the monsters in the overworld, you feel the world is more barren than it probably is. This isn't post-apocalyptic, it's just London. And with the music being okay at best, and the character's not running fast, it feels very lonely running around a lot of the time. So it's like if they made the movement speed quicker, this farming thing could have been a bit more enjoyable in my opinion. The guide also mentions the APO golem, which, oh my goodness. His attacks are to instantly refill the combo meter of your allies or do life steal, and it's so broken, literally every guide is telling you to use them, but what they don't tell you is that he's one of the golems they cut for the PS3 release. Yeah, I guess to make the game easier, they also removed the most busted golem here, which would make the game even more easier. However, I was aiming for Seraphim, which cost this much money, and wanted to summon them as a last resort since their level is so much higher than mine, just in case one party member leaves, as they do a lot in the game. Many times you'll constantly just have the party members go off, stop running out to buy new shin pads, Kareem, stay in the group. So people blame Toya for the golems, and Atsuma is like,
maybe he isn't being controlled. Could he just be evil?
I mean, we never saw that in the game. He was just good at everything and went along with everything we wanted.
He's happy. Maybe this right arm. Perhaps I should just cut it off. Rygar would do it for me, I'm sure. He'd say, "That's another fine cut by me then." Oh, no, I can't laugh.
So Yuki tries to cheer us up.
The first, solely for money. The second, no money, only rest.
And she tells us how we can all become a little happier tomorrow than we are today. Just keep pushing forward. Ignore what you feel today and work to make tomorrow better.
It's pretty corny stuff.
And Karina's like,
if you want to continue your enchant studies, then I can find a teacher for you too. The food here in London is exquisite.
Oh, I don't know about that. What the hell are you guys eating at football games?
I mean, there's my home cooking for a start.
I was with you up until that point.
So I reject the offer because I know deep down Atsuma wants to live back in Yokohama with the boys. I never got that much romantic contention with this game, which is a good thing. One of my favorite games, Berseria, I legit never felt any of the romantic feelings within the party, and that's okay. Your JRPG group can just be friends. Yes, I do enjoy media also when they ship the characters. I will die for these two idiots. I have to get married right away. But in here, I really thought these four were the perfect group of friends. Well, until more party members join and ruin the dynamic. So we still ponder, is it really okay to save Toya when devil golems kill so many people? Like, if we kill Toya, the Ice Queen will just die and the world will be saved, but we will lose our bestie. We asked that question to the mystery man, who just appears many times in the game.
I don't want to cause devastation like this anywhere else.
I see. I'm impressed that you can express such complex feelings.
You know, Atsuma, I have a sneaking suspicion the mystery man would really want to save Toya.
You must remain vigilant at all times. Yet you cannot afford to become too self-absorbed, for that route leads to misfortune as well. Life is too short to try and take back something important once it is lost.
Bro, what is this game hitting me with such relevant things I needed to hear right now? Why am I liking this game? Everyone says it's bad online. So Atsuma reaffirms that he wants to save Toya. That is his goal. And Raiga says that from his time in Kyoto, there is a secret art that lets one control their own turmoil. And your arm is turmoiling right now. So that might help. So let's go to Kyoto, which, yes, is just another road away from London City. And the gang all join us because they're like, oh, don't go sneaking out alone. We're friends and we want to help you.
I mean, I want Atsuma to...
I'm sorry. Are you saying something? Stop mumbling and speak up.
You're just a bratty little kid, aren't you?
I'm not a kid. Bleh.
Only kids say meh. You've proven my point.
I never said bleh, so bleh.
Well, meh, back to you.
So now we head back to that intersection and those guards who blocked us are now like, oh, I guess we have nothing to do. Maybe I should take a holiday. Well, I heard good things about the snowy peaks of Yokohama. So we head further, we got more grappling as the music. Why is one ear needing that weird humming? I get it, it's because of this place. Yuki tells us that it's near her home, Junk City, and this is like a graveyard. Every plant is a soul of people. It's cool, but I don't need ASMR telling me that in one ear. It's like the composer made this in whatever FL Studio version existed in 06 and put all these tracks and then was like, you know what? This needs a little bit of garnish, and instead of coriander, they slapped the weirdest sounding instrument on top that they could find. And yeah, it's tasty. My compliments to the chef. Some songs are good, but it's more a problem of how when you run and with speeds this average and how big the zones are with nothing than the scenery. It's like a PS3 game, but it could look like a HD PS2 one. Honestly, with these models, it just feels like a HD Final Fantasy X game. Imagine if it was built for the PS3. So, okay, there's a nice view, but I can only look at that for so long and not Atsuma's goofy run. Like take, for instance, yet again, FF32. I'm sorry, I can't shut up about this game, but it's my video, so indulge me. That has the same sort of open areas with random encounters, but the music, oh man, the music! And it transitions to a battle-themed version every fight. Here it just plays that one same fight song every single time. Thank the devil column, it sounds good to at least hear it on repeat. But look at this run animation. Look at the care drawing the weapon out to putting it away. There are things to look at in the background, not to mention the ambience of the world. It feels so lived in. Now I get that it's probably because this game was made in 1 year under the gun of Microsoft going, you got another exclusive Xbox game for us, FromSoft, So I would like to think in the ideal world, they got an extra year to flesh more of these things out. Or heck, remaster it because, you know, remove those motion controls, fix up the textures and character models, and add in stuff to make the world feel lived in instead of making Fortnite Elden Ring. What the actual heck?
The game's gone. The game's gone.
Anyway, after Yuki tells us that she hates that soul flower belief,
Sentimental baloney.
Baloney?
Baloney!
she only cares that this is a place where you can spawn a rare golem to sell for crazy money. Your party also learns more EX moves, by the way, but you pretty much just want to use that meter on Atsuma, like you buff up his damage and then you'll do a crazy amount in one turn, potentially knocking off half of the enemy's bar. As we enter Junk City and Yuki is like, hey, I gotta do something, and zoomies off.
What's that all about? I wanted her to show us around. As a native of this place, that's her duty, right?
And now you explore, talking to NPCs, and you learn about how Yuki had a brother who died, and weirdly looks a lot like us. Oh, I guess that's why she's so taken to us.
Atsuma, it's you.
Yeah, who'd you think it was? What are you mumbling about?
Nothing. Of course it's you. I can see you know.
You're weird.
Why is he so goddamn stupid? So yeah, I really like Yuki's voice acting performance here. I think she does that perfect hyped up energy and suddenly it's the sad nature of it. It's crazy looking up the range the VA has. But yeah, I was feeling the emotions here. She's like, I'll meet up with you later. So we wait and wait. So How about them sports teams? Am I right? Can I get my punch now? Also, in this shop, they offer you a VP reduction. Wait, that's what it sounds like. Which will help you lower the VP lost after a fight, but it costs 200 speed stones. And I was saving up for Seraphim. It's actually crazy how much money you need in this game, which is why I saw so many people use that casino trick on the guides. As in, you need gems to summon golems, so you gotta buy them, but then you also need to buy skills and weapons, and you can also buy this item which will give your characters SP, which you can use to buff up the parameters. Money seems to make this game function. I think I'm a believer like Yuki now.
Only money.
So we learn Fubile is this rich guy here who's from a thieves guild, and he made it big by excavating things to sell, and now he lives lavishly. However, someone stole something from him.
Take him away! Bury him alive in the sand!
Bro, that's so brutal! And so he blames Yuki for it, so we gotta investigate the crime to prove her innocence. And Karina's like, we need code names. Man, I wish this was voiced. It's very amusing because they literally just dropped these code names a minute later. So from all the talking, we learn that everything points to Yuki stealing the magic flute he had, which rumor has it, you use it to summon a rare golem in that flower field. We also learn that this junkyard boy and his dog were the ones that actually found the flute first in the pile, but Fubile and his cronies threatened his dog if he didn't hand it over. We then enter Yuki's house and find the flute, and instead of returning it to Fubile, we give it to the kid who rightfully deserves it so he can sell it for the riches. As we tell Fubile to piss off and tell Yuki what happened, and she's so mad because she's like, I thought you would understand what it means to be consumed by one goal, and runs off to the boy to grab the flute from him.
Why did you take it?
I told you. I'm going to hunt. That's all I have. I promised my bro.
Your brother?
Oh, from the photo?
What's it to you? I'm hunting golems for him.
Don't tell me. The guy in the photo is forcing you to do this? Bring him to me, I'll punch his lights out.
I wish I could.
What?
He's dead, you moron.
So her brother tried to save her from a slippery junk pile, and Fubile wanted money to help drag him out, which Yuki didn't have at the time, so she tried to dig him out herself, but was actually pushing him down further and further. And so she believes that she killed him. And it's why now she's a golem hunter, trying to live out his dream. Her trauma is so much like Atsuma, but they handle it in different ways. So Yuki runs off to summon that golem, but is struggling in the fight as we jump in to help.
Just what was your brother's dream?
I guess to become the kind of golem hunter that everyone in the world respects.
Do you really think that someone who steals from children to get more golems is going to earn worldwide respect? Do you think your brother would want you to do things like that?
Then what should I be doing? How can I...
Just be happy.
Oh, it's that easy, huh? Hey, buddy, I'm depressed.
Just be happy.
Yay, it worked! But no, it's like, be happy your brother saved you and live the life you want.
I'm allowed to be happy?
Of course you are.
You don't think he'd be angry with me?
If he is, I'll go up there and punch his lights out.
Bro, if this isn't like peak life lessons from a JRPG, man, why is this game so good? So we give the flute back to the kid who was like, nah, you keep it. Listen here, kid, this is the closest character backstory. Take the damn flute or I'll... And Yuki says goodbye to her brother while Karina offers him flowers. Finally, the two are friends.
I was worried. You seem to take so long doing whatever it is girls do on the toilet.
Whoa, Atsuma, that's a little inappropriate, don't you think?
Honestly, hardly the kind of thing you'd say to a lady.
And Mystery Man is like, come on, gang, hurry up and finish this whole quest. Stop with all this
banter. Are my ways mysterious to you? That's because I am the mystery man.
Ah, oh boy.
What does that mean?
Nothing.
Nothing? You're so frustrating.
Now you head further west, but you also have a teleporter which you can go back to London for one thing and one thing only.
No money.
But yeah, this desert is pretty barren. You're just running on the sands. There's nothing to look at until you get attacked by golems, as you see Kyoto City. But before that, a lady is being attacked by ninjas, so we help them out.
Rygar. It has been a long time, Sayaka.
Why are you here? Sayaka? You know Rygar? Are you friends or something?
Or something. That is, we're in... That is, I am his
Enfian? What?
You see, Rygar and I are to be... married.
Huh? No way!
Married? You mean like married? That's insane! This is Rygar we're talking about.
Huh. Is that such a strange thought? That I might be engaged?
But Rygar! Rygar? Rygar? I thought... I mean...
Oh god, why is this a choice? Well, I don't think he has any interest in Kareen. It felt like a bodyguard thing, so I'll go with the first choice.
I mean, I thought that, you know, that women didn't interest you.
Really? What does that mean?
Sometimes,
No, it's super, I didn't mean that!
I heard that was quite common among knights. You know, all the boys together.
Really? Rygar?
I don't know what he's talking about. I'm straight as an arrow, my lady.
Oh, don't worry about it, Rygar. I'm not bothered either way.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
Love is free, Rygar. Love is free.
What year did this game come out? What the heck? Italy won the World Cup?
Who is this boy? The princess's personal valet, perhaps?
Hey, you hear that, valet?
Well, if you're my valet, then I demand a bit more obedience. Atsuma, kneel before me. Scrub my boots.
FromSoft really were on that kinky stuff,
calm
huh?
down there.
Maybe that's why I like this game so much. Utsuma's arm reacts, meaning the Ice Queen is nearby. As we see the Shogun Tokimune and his attendant.
Yes, my lord.
Ice Queen goes to him, revive the Earth Lord or I'll blow up the city. Huh. Sounds reasonable. So we head right and try to get into the gate to Kyoto, but it's locked. So we gotta come back in the morning, which means all the way around to the left to Sayaka's village, where we will stay for the night.
I am Sayaka's father, Jose.
You look a little old to be her father.
Atsuma! I apologize for my companion.
Worry not, you are a lively one.
I'm Yuki.
Very good. How cute you are.
I am Rygar, sir.
Very good. Now get out of here!
So this guy is mad because Rygar worked with the London army and helped, you know, destroy Kyoto in the war. What did FromSoft mean by this? So Sayaka's father doesn't forgive him and won't even let him sleep in the house. I mean, it's not a big deal. What's so good about this house?
Dog!
So we have a choice to sleep next to the girls or with Rygar, and I ain't abandoning Best Pro.
Kareen snores so loudly and Yuki grinds her teeth. It's like sleeping in a jungle.
So we awake at night hearing some noises outside, and so we watch.
I've been waiting so long for you to come back. Like a starving kitten waiting to be fed.
Well, we finally can go to Kyoto City, where I learned from a random NPC. The Shogun loves golem women, not real ones. That's why she looks so doll-like. So
It seems King Caliban needlessly sacrificed his life.
What?
And here is his successor, a mere girl, unable to protect his city and unable to raise an effective successor. Buffoon!
Why, you!
And kicks us out, but Sayaka, the faithful servant, remembers why we are here, to learn that special technique from the ascetic monk. And Tokimune is like, alright, just take the key, as he's busy reviving the Lord of the Earth. While his ninja Oboro is like, why did you give them access to the key? You do know that means they can access the shrine now and overthrow you.
This is terrible! What have I done?
Incompetent swine.
So we go to grab the key, and Karina's like, yes, cobwebs, yeah. I'll wait outside. And so the ninja capture her. Now that was cliche. But to be fair, we did hear how the ninja were capturing women in the town for some reason. I don't think the game explains why. The game is just freaky like that.
Freaky?
And so this is probably the one area that should tell you that I am playing on an emulator. What is up with the water? So we head through to the hideout. It's where I started to use a guide more because I didn't want to get lost in this running around the winding place and hitting golem random encounters. This place is so confusing.
I'm not lost. Oh,
Christ, son of a bitch.
But I was able to buy Seraphim, who, man, what a sick design. A lot of these golem designs are pretty cool. But then I learned you actually don't get any more party members. And I was so happy. I cannot tell you how annoying it is when you have a JRPG and you're vibing with the starting group, only for it to add more and more characters later on and they don't click with you. The biggest example for me is Persona 5, which I love this force dynamic so much, but you add more and more. And so eventually the cutscenes have to take even longer time because you gotta hear input from every single character how they feel about the situation, so it feels very bloated, and there's a lot less closer interactions in the group. So because there's only gonna be 4 here, I thought, okay, I'll just use them 4 as my main party for the rest of the game, and the golems will be the backup. I guess Mystery Man never actually joins us. Yeah, that trope of the mysterious stranger who's very strong you see over a JRPG's runtime, and he joins you later on. Oh no, he doesn't care. So we defeat Oboro and free Karine. He flees in the ninja way, and now we gotta head back to confront Tokimune. Sayaka's like, how dare you insult my lord?
What did you say?
I mean, duty!
What did you say?
I mean, ooh, I am angry now.
But lets us through because, you know, it's her fiance. And Tokimune is mad, so he banishes Sayaka to stay in a village as punishment. She seems to not be able to say anything against her cruel master. But the village is also where that monk is, you know, further through, so we all head there, sneakily open the gate, but Sayaka blocks us from leaving with a fight. And it is tough because she has this counter attack where if you stand too close to the front and hit her, she will hit back as an extra turn, making you use more tactics than your usual fare that you've been doing so far. My strategy was at least to self-buff on Raiga and Atsuma to buff their damage, and they would usually do enough to take care of any enemy.
My lady, let us go.
Like this?
Yes.
Then I'm sorry, Sayaka.
How can you be so kind to me? If you would only forsake me, maybe I could bear this pain. Father, what should I do?
Hey, Rygar. Are you okay with things like that?
You should be concentrating on learning this secret art anyway.
Yeah, you're right. That's why we're here, after all. Okay, I'm gonna do this thing. So, where do you think the ascetic monk is?
I have no idea.
Haha.
Male bonding, huh?
And this place is tough. It's like a difficulty spike in that I wasn't defeating groups in one turn. But we find the monk.
You're not quite what I imagined.
That's because you've got a limited imagination.
Why is he high like Shaggy?
Take a chill pill.
He's like, okay, I'll teach you the move Gaia. If you go into the ascetic court and bring me something from it as a trial. So we go and do that. But since we're so close to the Earth Lord, your arm gets excited.
Right arm? Why do you have to butt in now? Shut up!
Shut up!
And Raiga was told that if we let it control us and turn evil, he should kill us.
I almost lost consciousness. Saw all kinds of weird stuff.
I thought of killing you on numerous occasions, to be honest.
So we get it back and learn a skill from the monk, Force Pain, which stops enemies regenerating health, which you need against the devil golems, who will literally just keep regenerating. So you need to use this on any boss that regenerates over time to stop them doing that in the fight. And Oboro is like, hey, Tokimune, Sayaka let that gang into the ascetic court. So he gets permission to burn her village, which we return to. Thankfully, the game teleports us back, and now we have to stop Oboro. As we save Sayaka, and the village is fine, okay? So we head back to Tokimune. He's like, fight me with his doll personal bodyguards.
Tokimune bodyguards!
God damn weebs. Also, with enemies like this, you usually have to take out the healer since they will have ones that can revive allies, which is more annoying because it takes more turns to win if they keep reviving. But we win and Oboro flees with Tokimune, and Oboro is like, bro, where is that Magicore, by the way, the Earth one? Just asking for no reason. Tokimune is like, oh, it's a tradition to have it sewn up inside the Shogun's body. So Oboro is like, oh, okay, I'll just kill you. Grabbing the Magicore for himself to revive the golem. But the Ice Queen spots him on the way and is like, lol, killing Oboro quite easily. Bro really didn't think this through. So we arrive too late. Toya and the queen leave as they just keep doing every chapter. They just appear, talk to us and leave. But they did revive the Earth Golem with the magic core. So we fight and use the power Gaia to suck up the Earth Golem.
You need my arm, right?
Huh?
You don't need me. Just my arm.
You want
want a kick?
No, I want my punch. You owe me. So the gang have to decide how they will stop the Ice Queen. And Atsuma still wants to save Toya. But everyone's like, oh, come on, stop with that. We gotta kill the Ice Queen. And the only way to do that means Toya will be dead. And at the same time, the mystery man has gone to the Frosty duo and says, hey lady, I found your magic core. I'll give it to you in exchange for Toya. She's like, nah mate, I'm too closely bonded to this guy, so scram.
Atsuma hasn't given up yet? After all I said to him. Really, he is a total pain in the... What?
So we need to somehow break Toya free and then suck up the queen. And Raiga says this sage he knows might have the answer, although he seems very reluctant to meet her again.
Let's go then.
As you say.
As you say.
As you say.
And as I say, this is where the spoilers are gonna start. I did grind more in the casino to not be super over leveled, but I just wanted to grab these support skills where you get double XP and SP. And just use those two and not really grind anymore for money. I think I was pretty okay. So we head to the sage and mystery man, and I don't know how he travels everywhere so quickly. While we are just stuck running in the desert, he says that Toya wants to be absorbed and doesn't want to be saved. So the only way to truly save him, to free him of all this pain, is to kill him. But Atsuma says, nuh-uh, as we push into the sage's tower with, oh man, I needed a guide because you gotta collect these ether to then open the final door. It's very windy and such, and I would normally be okay with this if it wasn't for random encounters. But I still fought everyone I saw, just needed help on the puzzles, like you pull these blocks around, flying on these platforms. But also funny is that I was one-shotting in the dungeon again, because yeah, I was keeping up my damage and the parameters. It's so busted once you figure out what this is. Also make sure you put some points into health, as you need at least 1000 health to stay alive at some bosses, because they will do that much in one turn. And with the EP being higher, I was able to use stronger move variants, because yeah, they do more damage. Also keep in mind some weapons you equip will actually lower your HP while boosting other stats, so you got to account for all these things, as well as you can equip support skills like 20% extra health. It's cool though, you can swap out these skills at any time, so say now I want to grind, so I put double XP, but when I get to a boss, I'll just swap that out for bonus health. As the dungeon takes me 1 hour even with a guide, as we open the top, fight the golem Odin bodyguard who looks so sick, and we meet the sage who is interesting.
Get lost.
Huh?
I'm telling you to get out of my sight!
You know, there's something as too much reverb.
Just do it!
So she's mad Raiga ran off as her apprentice, and she's mad we're here with our arm, because turns out that she tells Raiga alone later, the sage was the one who gave us the arm. Our parents had left us on her doorstep when we were deathly sick, and they thought she could help us, so the sage tried to use one of her leftover cells that she found from this ancient devil golem called Infinity, and made it into our arm. You did all that? And you live like this? Meanwhile, Toya and the Ice Queen appears, and Toya goes, kill me later. Sage says that if we give the Queen her object magic core, there will be 2 of them inside her, one object, one, and Toya. So then we can grab Toya out of her control, and then suck up the Queen herself, saving our BFF. Yet we don't know where the magic core is. Hey.
Whoa.
So Mr. Man is like, bruh, you still think you could save him? Okay. Meet me in Gravekeep Home where I'll decide if I give you the magic core or not. We also remember there's 2 parts to that Gaia move, the Control and Fury, the final push we need to master our arm. Sage goes, oh, okay, you don't know how to do this, so she sends us into her arm to fight it. Oh, lol, okay. So we win, and our mind is so single brain cell that we don't get affected by any of this. As she drags us out, the arm also told us that his goal is to save the world, so stop worrying about Toya, who cares? I gotta save the world! And the things we fought inside also dropped this item, the God Orb, which the sage says, oh, okay, cool, I can make it the strongest weapon and skill you have, which opens a side quest where you can find these guys around the world, and finding them gives you a God Orb. Yep, that tiger thing from earlier. And these give you the 4 best weapons and skills for your party. Oh yeah, I was plenty of ready for the end. As we teleport to Gravekeep Home, which is a very, very cold
Could the Queen
place.
of Ice's castle be behind this gate?
Huh?
I think she said, could the Queen of Ice's castle be behind this gate?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yuki, blow your nose.
Zo, where's the village elder?
Yuki, blow your nose again.
So this lady says she was told to give us this letter, and to us alone.
Good job spotting me then.
Thank you.
I knew right away. I was told it would be the one who looked kinda stupid.
Ah, right.
And it is from the mystery man who says to see him at night for a fight for the magic ore, which is a tough fight since you can't reach him and he's summoned so many yo-yos. Mystery man says he will kill Toya first because that's what he wants and leaves us with a magic ore, where we now have a big decision, where who you talk to will show you different scenes in the credits. Yep. This game has some character choice. It's either romance with Corrine or sibling time with the other two. And man, I cannot ignore my bro Ryger.
Once we settle this, you can focus on the person that's most important to you.
Who do you mean?
Sayaka, of course.
Ah, well, I mean, we're not...
Come on, no need to be embarrassed. Make sure you invite me to the wedding, okay?
It's quite a lengthy process to... Atsuma, do not mock your elders.
Okay.
So yeah, thankfully this village has teleports to every major place we've been to, so you can farm those gold orbs to get the best weapons. And yep, this is the last stop before the final boss area, as it's
the vast, swirling wonderland of sparkling white pleasure.
I also made sure to buy as many of these coin things in the casino, use it all up, and then get some money to buy these mega skill gems that put some SP onto your characters so you can just literally overload their stats and the parameters as much as possible. As inside, we find this other golem in red, but then find Toya, who broke free from the queen for a little bit, to plead with us to kill him. And this is actually an ending choice. If you agree to kill him, after the fight it shows you doing so, and the game just ends. Okay, that's not the coolest bad ending visual I've seen in a game, but you meant to say nuh-uh. And when you beat him, you don't let him die. As you head to the queen, who was killing the mystery man, I guess?
I knew you would regret killing me for the rest of your life. I was trying to prevent that.
Well, just who do you think you are?
What?
I'm asking you, who do you think you are? Do whatever you like alone then. I might not be able to do much. I might be a dropout, but when my friends are with me, we can defeat 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000 devil golems. No problem.
You don't change, do you? Your reasoning was always completely absurd.
So we fight the Ice Queen with two phases, one with her minions and the other one is just her bigger, which means better for us because that's more squares that we can land their attacks. However, we're not doing the thing we gotta do in the cutscene and almost die.
What? Makoto?
What? What are you doing, you
Oh, he was
twit?
Makoto? No way!
With that magic horn?
Eat this!
So we shoved the magical into her, freeing Toya, allowing us to suck her up as the third devil golem into our arms.
So this is like a big happy ending, right?
Oh no, don't raise the death flag! And then Makoto goes,
Dress like that anyway. Isn't it against your cross-dressing code to dress so macho?
Why, you little... Just shut up! A lady should be refined and gentle. That's my motto. It'd be far too embarrassing for a lady to do all the things I did.
What? That's the reason you concealed your identity?
Yes. You have a problem with that? It's pretty straightforward, really.
So the reason they dressed differently and talked deeper was because a lady wouldn't do those things. So the whole reason of the mystery man was that. Okay. The game doesn't even explain how they survived. The icicle dropped onto them. I'm assuming that's why they have the scar, because it hit them there. But how did they suddenly have this crazy new moveset and knowledge on all the game's lore and how they can teleport around quickly? Did you always know this? Or did you learn this after you were brought back from the dead? Never gonna explain that one, huh? What did FromSoftware mean by this? So the ice castle collapses and we fall and land at the red pillar, where the arm is very happy he's got all three golems and shows us a flashback to the golem war, where he says he was built long ago to stop the golem wars to reset the earth because humans were annoyed at how everything was so desolate. Atsuma's like, what the heck? All those people are dead. We don't hold the same belief as them. We love the world now. It's cool. You can travel to London on a road. Humanity survived. We don't want it to reset. Stop your programming. He goes, nuh-uh. That is my goal, to gather all the devil golems and using my power of infinity to reset the world.
It can't be!
Damn! Yeah,
And so we play as Toya and Makoto, seeing Atsuma awaken with the Infinity Parasite hanging over him. So you fight, and you're not meant to hit Atsuma, just the parasite behind him, as the guys free Atsuma, but Infinity is still reviving.
Kareen!
If you're going to fight a devil golem, then you'll need the #1 golem hunter.
And don't forget about me. I'll take a piece of that action.
So you two just take it easy, okay?
Thank you. He might be a moron, but he's our moron.
No problem. He's a precious moron to us, too.
Yes, a vital moron.
An irreplaceable moron.
Would you quit it with this moron stuff?
And so we fight in 5, what the f***? 5 waves! Yep, one of the most insane boss fights ever in gaming. I mean, maybe not insane, it's just very long. And that is why people hated the difficulty in the Xbox version. This was crazy to do without saving. 5 times fighting. Where one phase you have to defeat the elementals to stop them healing him, and the other times just attack and attack. It's pretty easy now because we are so buffed up, and Kareen has super healing. Even Yuki is doing crazy damage. The PS3 version really doesn't feel that bad in difficulty for me, as we win.
Humans change. I mean, it's been 1,000 years. You've lost. You hear me? Lost because you haven't changed at all.
And the world is safe, back to normal, which means it's time for the festival, where Yokohama is rebuilt by Toya, who people wanted to be the next mayor, as we meet everyone, including the sage, who is like, maybe I should quit being a sage and be a juice girl. Okay, sure, go for it. I'm sure that reverb will help sell. Yuki says she's training the next wave of Gen Alpha to be more money hungry like her. That Sigma grind set. Also probably teaching them all the cool slang.
Skibidi Sigma.
Kareen is like, bro, this is fire. I'm gonna make it for my husband.
I'm gonna perfect these Yokohama specialties. Just you wait and see.
But why Yokohama recipes? Kyoto and even Junk City have their own great recipes too, you know?
Well, my future husband might come from Yokohama.
Really? But who do you know from here?
You really are slow, aren't you?
I get that a lot.
While Raiga and Sayaka finally get married.
You're married now, aren't you? When did you find the time to do that? So you'll probably be thinking about starting a family soon? Or maybe you started already. Oh, really?
And so Makoto gets to kiss Toya, not in a consensual way, but yeah, everyone oohs and ahs at the fireworks as the game ends, with the credits showing us that choice we picked with Raiga training with him. And I checked the other options: you either play with Yuki, or Kareen, you marry her. Where is the punch? And yep, that's it. You get New Game Plus, which does carry over your stuff, but yeah, Enchanted Arms is complete. And oh my god, do I have feelings about this game? You know, earlier this year, I was kind of floundering on what game I should be playing for this channel, because I was starting to feel maybe I wasn't gonna find new games that I truly enjoyed. So that's why I played Assassin's Creed 2, because I knew I already love it. But then I tried some new ones, including this old PC game that people say is the funniest game ever. It's not. Then I tried things like the Trails of Cold Steel, and completely blind, and man, it's like, it's all there. Funny voice acting by people I recognize. It literally has Akane and Santa's voice from Zero Escape, but I just wasn't feeling that high school setting. I think there needs to be some stakes to having characters there, not just you running around doing school things. Like the Persona games will always hook me because, you know, there's a hook, there's some serial killer, some plague, or evil adults. I haven't given up on the Trails franchise. I'm gonna be going through it in my own way, but this game then just came out of nowhere. I was meant to play a different FromSoft game, and I don't know, with it seemingly not having a big focus on story, it didn't feel like it would wow me. But then I found this game, which has so many similarities to my favorite game of all time, and that's like insane! A game that has the vibes, random encounters, stupid main characters with a carefree attitude, pushing through against the world, telling you things are not what you want, the turn-based battles using Pokemon you catch to fill out a party. I'm like, bro, I didn't know more games existed with what I wanted in more games. It's that feeling like when you play Ace Attorney and you discover Danganronpa and you're like, what the heck? There are more courtroom visual novels? That discovery of wonder that such a game actually existed and I got to experience completely blind, and it worked so well. There are so many flaws with this game. Like, man, there's weird plot things they keep doing where they just keep forgetting to mention it again. Like, they find this golem in the caves near the resistance camp and Kareen goes, oh, we're gonna use the resistance power to find out who did this. And they don't. It was obviously the giggling man, but they don't show it to us at all. And he doesn't even get any punishment. But then you have things with Sayaka, like you say, this guy is too old to be a dad. And the ascetic monk will go to Raiga. Hey, by the way, how is Sayaka doing? Just wondering, like her actual dad, because it's kind of implied he is, and that guy is the granddad. And I love that a game does this. It's what FromSoftware are known for, that inference on storytelling. On the other hand, Toya will be like, bro, remember, press X to climb the ladder. It's all these things leads me to believe why this dumbed down PS3 version is the perfect first-timer JRPG. Yeah, I'm serious, screw that Final Fantasy 15 slogan. This is what you need to get people into the genre. I mean, most of the time you just can auto-battle and not need to strategize only for the bosses. Isn't that like most Souls games? You know how FromSoftware is so popular now with its crowd? But look at this thing I found. Someone posted this game's art book on the FromSoftware's Reddit, and people were like, any femboys? My guy, I don't think that's a FromSoft game. It is. It's just ancient. Who are these people playing FromSoft games? It's like, I don't know, I get so much enjoyment going back through a dev's library to find out where they started. And I think if you want people to get into JRPGs, you go, hey, you know the Souls people? They made one, it's pretty cool. It's like $10 on eBay and it works amazingly well on an emulator. Like, FromSoft seemingly is only cool because of Dark Souls, but now after this game, oh man, imagine if they made more JRPGs like this, or you know, just keep being weird and wacky alongside more Souls games. I mean, maybe the first point of interest would be to revive this game with a remaster, which I doubt since, you know, they like to make money now. I cannot tell you how jittery I was feeling near the end of this game, though my heart is fine. But I felt this with Dragon Quest XI, and especially with this stupid game, that, oh man, I was potentially about to finish one of my new favorite games ever. The journey will be over. And I check online, and no one is talking about this game. No one's making fan art. It has more fan fiction than fan art. Have you seen how much fan art the Souls games get? Did you even know there was a light novel with a limited edition that shows how Atsuma got Kota his dog? Why isn't this game more popular? This feeling is so weird. It's like when I played Zork or even Eve Burst Era. It's like, yeah, no one cares about them. Oh, that's fine. That's understandable. They're niche games. Oh, okay, that's fine. But this is from possibly one of the most well-known studios in the business right now. People are dying for their next game, but it feels like only if the game has hard action combat, then they will care about it, not this goofy JRPG setting. And yeah, I know this game had its issues, which is probably because we know why. Knowing all the circumstances that led to this, the rush time probably hindered a lot of things, but it also shows you how efficient FromSoft were making games back then. They managed to cram all this into a 25-hour JRPG in 1 year, including a multiplayer feature, onto a system where they probably knew it was not going to sell well, hence the port they announced to PS3 7 months later. I cannot express how much FF13-2 changed my whole perception of games, and how much that spoke to me at times I needed it. And in a similar way, this game did that too. I could not believe I was hearing things from a game from 2006, saying things I needed to hear right now. Or who knows, maybe I just like games where the main character has an angry red arm. The characters are so likable in Enchanted Arms. The backstory emotions got to me. The voice acting is so well done, it fits all the characters' personalities. Yes, this Atsuma voice suits him so much. A good voice actor sounding like this would feel so out of place, and I cannot see anyone else voicing the other three. They all did their job so well. The world looks so cool and vibrant. I just wish they had more time to flesh it out, you know, maybe double the NPCs, maybe make more things to do in the towns, or add environmental details to the world, just redo the music a bit. The game had every potential to crash through into my top 10 games of all time, and Maybe it will after I replay it many years later. That seems to be a thing. I need to replay it to cement that fact. But at the moment, it has solidly rocked into that honorable mention spot. It does things I did not even imagine could be done anymore. I never thought I would find a game this similar before that game was even a thing. All because it was rushed onto a console in a dead market for it. So Enchanted Arms is an Xbox 360 JRPG that was doomed to fail from the start because it was an Xbox 360 JRPG. But it managed to push through by being ported to the PS3, and I guess with the company being more well known now, this allowed people to go back and revisit their old games to find the hidden gems. And here was a game with rushed development to meet that launch window where they added in online mechanics to a single player JRPG, which just sounds so wrong. We have many other mechanics that would easily make it feel like a low budget Final Fantasy game from Square Enix, a unique combat system with very in-depth mechanics to it that you can break if you want, or you can just zone back and auto battle. You know, I think you don't even have to use Atsuma in combat. You could do a full team of golems, and the story, while very predictable at certain points, you have to remember this was also in 2006. Maybe it wouldn't have been as predictable because it was back then. As man, it just hits you with these emotions if you give it the time, and I really did. I am so glad that I got to play this game. I guess the final point is that I love Square Enix games. There's something about the way they make games. It really is a wonderful thing to experience for me. And after being so hyped, I was very disappointed in FF16. How could you not have mini games or party members in a mainline Final Fantasy? And yet, this game has both of them. Its presentation feels like an FF10 game with less budget. It could easily have slot into one of those 2000 mainline FF games, and I think that's why it hits so hard to me. This is a Final Fantasy game in every possible term, defying your fate, fighting gods, having a great party, hilarious banter. FromSoft did everything they could with what they had and were given to make a Final Fantasy game, and I'll never forget my time with this. And that's it from me. I truly hope you enjoyed this look at FromSoft's history. Maybe I would enjoy their other games if they're similar quality. If you like this video, I have more on the channel of all sorts of genres, so I would appreciate a sub to the channel and a like on the video. And you can follow me on social media for updates. And until then, I shall see you all in the next video.